Hey guys, it's Derek with B&H, and today we're taking a look at Fujifilm's latest additions to the X series lineup. The compact X-E4 mirrorless camera, the XF 27mm f2.8 R WR Pancake Lens, and the lightweight telephoto XF 70-300mm f4 to 5.6 RLM OIS WR. The Fujifilm X series is widely regarded for its marriage between image quality and portability. And that union has given way to yet another compact camera with performance that stretches way beyond its small frame. In the case of the X-E4, small means a depth of just 1.29 inches and an ultra-light 0.8 pounds. What really makes this camera stand out on first touch, other than the fact that it fits right in your coat pocket, is the solid construction. For being so light, it has a confidence-inspiring, durable feel, from the metal dials and magnesium alloy top plate to the stylish genuine leather wrapped around the body. The body itself has undergone a slight change in shape, switching to the beveled top plate for a squared off front edge, and Fujifilm has also decided to remove the focus mode lever that was on the front of the previous model. But still, with plenty of easily accessible options, you can now select how you'd like to focus from either the main menu, quick menu, or by setting a custom function button to accomplish this task. The X-E4 is a little more streamlined on the top plate as well, with a more flush Q button replacing the auto lever that was squeezed between the shutter speed and exposure compensation dials on the previous model. And with the standalone autofocus lock button removed from the rear panel in favor of a single dual-purpose auto exposure lock, autofocus lock button, isolating these functions to compose photos with off-center subjects is now even easier. Fujifilm has also removed the rear setting wheel from the previous model, ensuring the back of the camera is as clean and simple an interface as possible, without compromising functionality. Now, the rest of the rear panel is, of course, reserved for the bright, spacious, tilting LCD screen. Now, this is a first for the X-E series. Not only did Fujifilm incorporate the popular tilt screen we've come to love on various X series cameras, they've added the ability to tilt it up, front-facing, 180 degrees. This makes the transition from being in the moment to being in the picture as easy as this. For those who prefer to shoot via the viewfinder, the rangefinder style EVF on the X-E4 is neatly placed along the left edge of the rear panel, allowing you to keep one eye locked on the live view of the fully customizable 2.36 million dot display and one eye free to survey the rest of the scene. The 3-port output bay sees a welcomed update in the form of a USB-C connector for either charging or remote connectivity, a single mic remote port, along with the returning micro HDMI output for clean output streaming or external recording. The X-E4 also keeps the design clean with a single SD card slot stacked next to and in the same compartment as the compact MP W126S battery. The cornerstone of the X-E4's performance rests squarely on the shoulders of the same 26.1 megapixel X-Trans CMOS 4 sensor and X Processor 4 that have been carrying the heavy hitters of the X series lineup, such as the flagship X-T4 and the X Pro 3. The backside illuminated sensor on this camera creates beautiful images that are not only crisp, but deliver rich, accurate colors without the need for an image-degrading optical low-pass filter. And with 2.16 million phase detection autofocus pixels distributed across essentially 100% of the sensor, autofocus is responsive and accurate no matter which area of the frame you're focusing on. The improved autofocus performance and overall performance is all possible due to the aforementioned power of the X Processor 4 and its fast, efficient quad-core design. The powerfully efficient sensor and processor combo are not only the literal core of the X-E4, they are the very mechanisms that enabled Fujifilm to keep this camera's performance on par with the rest of the acclaimed X series. This camera again walks in the esteemed footsteps of the X-T4 and X Pro 3, boasting the same autofocus system, which is able to lock in on your subject in a lightning-fast 0.02 seconds. Whether using face and eye detection or one of the 4 standard focus modes of single point, area, wide tracking, and all, the updated autofocus algorithm of this camera detects shapes and colors to accurately track moving subjects. And the versatile face detection enables the same dynamic autofocus accuracy, even in low light. In fact, pairing the X-E4 with a lens like the XF 50mm f1 will yield outstanding autofocus results at up to -7 EV. Now, I mentioned the role the X-Trans sensor plays in rendering vibrant colors and smooth gradations, and when color science is at the heart of your legacy, You want to provide the user as many options as possible when it comes to creating standout imagery. The X-E4 offers Fujifilm's same unrivaled in-camera image adjustments found in most recent X-series cameras, while boasting 18 film simulations that provide you a one-click answer to giving your photos the look of Fujifilm's classic film stocks. From the intensely vibrant Velvia, popular with many landscape photographers, to the classic portrait skin tones rendered in both pro-neg simulations, this camera makes light work of creating stunning images that jump off the screen. And the customization doesn't stop there. You can literally adjust every aspect to your photos, from adding a more robust feel with the color chrome and color chrome blue effects, to customizing the clarity, and even the ability to color grade your black and white images for more creative control. This is all on top of a wide array of settings that are easily laid out in a simplified system that allows you to focus more time on images and less time in the menus. Keeping in line with the rest of the X-E4's impressive resume is the camera's ability to shoot professional-grade video at 4K 30p in 420 8-bit color to an SD card or 422 10-bit color to an external recording device via HDMI. Or you can slow the action down and shoot in full HD at 240p for capturing high-quality moments in super slow motion. Whether you want to shoot remotely, transfer your images right to your mobile device for editing and sharing on the fly, or even if you want to connect to one of Fujifilm's wireless portable Instax printers to print on the spot, the X-E4 has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity and will easily connect to the Fujifilm Camera Remote app for a portable wireless workflow. While you'll find enough to get you snapping photos right out of the box, with the included battery, camera strap, USB-C charging cable, and even a USB-C mic adapter, the Fujifilm X-E4 has quite an impressive set of accessories available separately to enhance the user experience. I've beefed up my handling of the small frame with this sturdy yet lightweight metal hand grip. Outfitted with a tactile rubberized surface on the grip portion, with an opening for easy battery and SD card access, this hand grip is great for improved handling, especially when pairing the X-E4 with a larger lens. And to double down on enhancing your handling of the camera, the aluminum thumb rest slides snugly onto the hot shoe and comes in different colors to match the available body colors of the camera. Protect your X-E4 with the sleek, genuine leather case, or throw on the premium M-mount adapter for even more versatility. But the absolute best accessory you can pair with this camera is one of Fujifilm's stellar X-mount lenses. And would you look at that, I have the two newest offerings right here. Whether you plan on keeping a camera like the new X-E4 pocket size, or you're just a fan of fast, high-quality, extremely portable glass, the Fujinon XF 27mm f2.8 R WR is the perfect option. Measuring just 0.9 inches deep and weighing only 2.9 ounces, the thinnest and lightest X-mount lens is also an incredibly versatile focal length at a 35mm equivalent of 41mm. Now this lens has the perfect amount of tension on its tactile aperture ring, which locks on auto, so that means accidentally changing your aperture while on the go isn't going to be an issue here. And with an aperture range from f2.8 to f16, this is an ideal lens for everything from street photography to landscapes, architecture to environmental portraits, and really any other kind of everyday photo genre. It's wide enough for group photos, fast enough for low light, and the near-silent internal motor paired with its slight build make it a low-profile lens you'll want to carry with you everywhere you go. Even the included hood on this lens is super minimal to add to the overall low-key aesthetic, and the tiny 39mm filter size further shows that everything about this lens is small except the performance. The XF 27mm is constructed from 7 elements in 5 groups with 7 rounded diaphragm blades and extensively weather resistant to the elements. Operating in temperatures down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit, with the 27mm f2.8 you're getting high quality optics that won't back down to rain, dirt, or freezing cold. Fujifilm even knew you're going to want to bring this lens everywhere, so they included one of their slick cloth lens pouches to ensure your new favorite carry-around lens stays looking good as new. It's apparent that portability was a key goal in this latest round of releases from Fujifilm, and the new Fujinon XF 70-300mm f4 to f5.6 RLM OIS WR falls right in line with that thinking. As the full name of this lens tells us, this telephoto zoom features a dedicated aperture ring, linear motor, optical image stabilization, and weather sealing. What the name doesn't tell you is that this lens is light. Normally, a telephoto covering this range conjures up thoughts of sore necks and backs and being stuck on a tripod. That's not the case here. The new 70-300 is just 5.2 inches long without the included lens hood, with a filter size of 67 millimeters, and it weighs in at only 1.3 pounds. We are talking at least 1 to 2 pounds lighter than many lenses in the same focal range. Now, I wore this lens around my neck for a full day of shooting, so trust me when I tell you that this is a telephoto lens built for those long days in the field, and not regretting them the next day. As light as this lens is, it feels well constructed and features an intuitive design that begins with the aesthetics and layout itself. The 70-300 has a locking switch on the barrel, so no more of that dreaded lens creep. The lock will only engage when the lens is fully retracted in its 70mm position, and the lock switch has enough tension behind it to ensure you won't accidentally disengage the lock. It even has a bright orange band to let you know it's in the locked position. The aperture ring has a nice tactile click to make f-stop adjustments more deliberate, while preventing switching your settings in error. The lower barrel houses an auto aperture switch to toggle between automatic aperture setting or changing your aperture via the aperture ring. Next to the auto aperture switch is the focus limiting switch, allowing you to set the range of distances the focusing mechanism will attempt to focus at. With a minimum focusing distance close to half macro at precisely 32.7 inches, you'll probably spend a fair amount of time at the short end of the focal range. Although, with a 35mm equivalent of 107 to 457 millimeters, wildlife, sports, and astrophotographers, you're all gonna have a field day with this kind of reach. And since this lens is compatible with the XF 1.4x TCWR and XF 2x TCWR teleconverters, increasing the 35mm equivalent to a max of 914 millimeters with only 2 stops of light loss, the possibilities might seem as endless as the 70-300's reach. The focusing system's cutting-edge autofocus is driven by an incredibly fast linear motor, allowing for responsive, accurate results with barely a sound. Now combine this with the revolutionary autofocus and processing power of the X series cameras, and you're going to see lightning-fast precision that keeps up with the action you're documenting. But speed is just one end of the equation. The XF 70-300 features 9 rounded diaphragm blades and 17 elements in 12 groups, including 1 aspherical element and 2 extra low dispersion elements, and a minimum aperture of f/22. It also delivers Fujifilm's advanced optical image stabilization with up to 5.5 stops of correction to combat the camera shake that can often affect photos taken at the longer focal lengths. I spent a lot of time shooting between 200 and 300 millimeters and was impressed with how effectively the image stabilization reacted at the super telephoto end of the spectrum. My images at longer distances were on par with the image quality in the portraits I took at close range. We all know that some of the greatest images come from some of the worst weather conditions. And let's face it, a lens like this is an outdoor lens, which is why the weather-resistant nature of this lens is pivotal. You want a lens that can go wherever you go, in whatever conditions you go in, and this is it. Dust and moisture resistant, able to perform in temperatures as low as 14 degrees Fahrenheit, and not a burden on your back, your shoulder, or your camera bag. The Fujinon XF 70-300mm f4 to 5.6 RLM OIS WR sets a new standard in both image quality and portability for the telephoto zoom class of lenses, and I'm all for it. Every photographer, whether amateur or professional, can benefit from an everyday camera that is so portable it's a joy to take everywhere. And if that portable option delivers state-of-the-art features and image quality, that's a win-win. The Fujifilm X-E4 is a camera I would make my daily camera, especially paired with the XF 27mm. They say the best camera is the one you have with you, so why not carry around a camera that can hang with the best? I'm Derek with B&H. I'll catch y'all next time.